Well, it's been a very interesting day, full of very interesting talks. And in this last talk, I want to introduce you to make you think of what we are doing here, beyond the talks, beyond the conversation on the corridors. What are we doing here as a community? And I want to start by telling you with 3 stories and a question that maybe some of you has been asked before. And I don't know if you have replied the same way that I did, but I'm going to tell. The question is why? It comes in different flavors, in different versions, but the question is why. I'm going to start with the first story. The first story comes from some years ago when I was joining my former company, not Liferay, the former. And at that time, I was already involved with the communities, mainly with the Java user group in Madrid, but I was also helping to organize a conference which was involved in many communities from different technologies and languages, JavaScript, Microsoft, .NET, Python, whichever technology. We were trying to create a conference in which developers could gather up no matter the technology and share their knowledge. And my boss, my former boss, knew that I was involved with the community. So he told me that he was going to give me the flexibility because he understood which was the potential under the communities. He was going to give me the flexibility to spend time working for the communities, for the local Java user group, or organizing the conference, but also he was going to allow me to do whatever I needed in order to do that. The only constraint that he put is you need to do your job here because I'm paying you to do your job. Well, the thing is that one afternoon, I was working with a colleague. We were pair programming or we were pair reviewing some code that we had written. And we had to finish because I was running late to deliver a talk at the Java user group. And when we were going out the office, he stopped and he asked me, why are you doing this? Which is the benefit that you are taking from going to speak, to share your knowledge with others? Because there's been a lot of effort that you have put in preparing your talk. There's been a lot of time that you have spent doing your presentation, gathering up all the information that you are going to present. And which is the benefit? Are they paying you? Are they paying you at this local Java user group? Because right now we are tired. It's been a long day, and maybe you would prefer to go for some beers with us, or maybe go home to relax, and you are going to that meetup to speak and to share your knowledge. What I replied was, because I feel great, I feel fine doing this, I enjoy doing this. I enjoy sharing what I know because others also share what they know with me, and this is what makes this really great. But he started at me and he said, well, I think what you're doing, but I think that he wasn't completely understanding it because there was no money, it's difficult to explain that to someone who has not lived it. The second story comes from some time after that, some years after, I knew that one good friend and a person that is very well known in the Java community is Dr. Heinz Cabut. He lives in Crete, and he was going to deliver a course in South Spain, in Malaga. And as I knew that he was coming to deliver that course, I was joining him for that course, and I asked him, do you want to deliver a talk at the local Java user group in Malaga where you are going to be spending the whole week? And he replied immediately, yes, let's do this. let's have some fun with Java, local Java folks. He didn't thought it twice. That was just like 1 month before the course was taking place. When the day came, and after a long session, a long training session of 7.5 hours, he was pretty tired. And when we were heading for the local meetup, at some point, he asked to himself, why I'm keeping doing this? I'm tired, and now I need to have an extra effort to do this. The thing is that the meetup went well. We had so much fun. We engaged with local community there. We went for dinner and for beers after that. And when he was returning home after that week, he said, next time I'm here, we can repeat this. I mean, this guy usually does that. But does that not mean that he's not tired or it's not an extra effort for him after a long day of work, attending to deliver a talk or attending a local Java user group? The third story is a much closer one. These are the public transport buses from Madrid. And it happens that my former neighborhood, the guy living in the front door with me, is a driver of these buses in Madrid. And someday he approached me because he noticed that I was arriving home sometimes a little bit late in the afternoon. And, well, he asked me, do you have too much work? And I explained him that I was coming from a local Java user group, and I was attending a talk, a very interesting talk, and we started to talk about the communities. He didn't understand what a technical community is. I tried to explain. Literally, I had the elevator pitch because we were having that conversation on the elevator to our floor. After that, the only response that I got from him was, you are crazy. Because that thing that you have been telling me is like if I was, after a long day driving around Madrid in my bus, I was returning home, going to the garage, picking my particular car, and started driving around the neighborhood just to improve my driving skills or whatever. That makes no sense, Cameron. You're crazy. So the point here is, again, you need to try to explain the passion. You need to try to explain what are you getting from these community events. And I think after some time, I found a better way to explain it. And this comes from a quote from Isaac Newton. This means that Isaac Newton said that he was not great because of himself. He was great because he was standing upon the shoulders of giants. And for me, this is a good explanation of what happens with the community. When we attend the community, when we attend the conference, when we engage with other mates that are doing this very same thing that we are doing, we are standing upon the shoulders of giants. And we are also helping others to stand upon our shoulders. So this means that we all are becoming giants. We all are improving our skills. We all becoming better. That's something that comes with the time. So if anybody needs to start his commitment or engagement with the community, how could he or she do that? Because sometimes it's difficult to engage with the community, to attend conference or to maybe walk on the stage, and seems that you know a lot of things. But there are 4 basic steps. The first one is just join the community to learn, to listen, to consume as a consumer, because you want to learn a new technology or something that you are working with, or a technology that you have particular interest. The second step is, after some time that you have been basically consuming the knowledge or consuming what others say, you will realize that you also are able to answer some questions. You realize that you can help others, and at some points you feel obligated to do that because the people has helped you before. So it's time for you to contribute and to help. And maybe the first step is just answering a question or pointing someone to an URL in which that very same question that you had some months or some years before is answered. And this is making others to improve and to help. Sometimes you don't feel like you are helping them because you are just simply doing a very tiny thing which is based in a new URL. But this is the very first step, because after that you are going to start helping others and answering questions. The next step basically is you are going to go a step further and you are going to start contributing and writing your own pieces of information. Maybe your own small pieces of code, and you are going and step further in the sense that you are contributing, you are effectively creating things for the community, not just answering or helping others, you are creating things. And the last step basically is when you become a leader. Becoming a leader is not managing the community, because the community should not be managed. Becoming a leader is just taking responsibility for one activity or for one thing and encouraging others to follow you and to improve the community and themselves. And this makes different roles that the people, the members of the community, could play. Sometimes you are basically a listener or a consumer. Sometimes you are a contributor because you are helping others, or you are creating information, you are creating assets that are valuable to the community. Or you are collaborating, you are leading, you are pushing the community in any direction or any of the activities that the communities do. But another important role that we have here is this one, the inactive people. We need those people because remember that we are doing this mostly on our spare time, and sometimes we have other priorities, or there are sometimes that we cannot engage with the very same intensity to the community. So at some time maybe we are inactive, but this is not bad because we are going to return. If we have tried the benefits of the community, we are going to go back to create and to help others. So it's not a problem to have inactive members in your community. It's temporal, it happens, but those guys will come back to contribute actively. But this is about the members, but the community also grown. As the members are growing, the communities also are growing. This is from the State of Community Management Report 2017. And basically it states that the communities themselves also grow. Because when you start a community, maybe there are a few leaders, a few collaborators that try to lead and to define where the community should go. This is more a hierarchical thing because there are a few guys who are trying to define which are the interests of the community. But as the members are enrolling and are leading and are contributing, the community is going to become an emerging community and a proper community in which everyone can propose and can play different roles in the community. The last step is when you have a networked community. There's no managers, there's no leaders, because eventually everyone is a leader. Eventually there are a lot of initiatives that can be led by different people. And this is really nice because the community is going to define very different things that can be done. So this is about the community, but what's in a community like Liferay? Which are the concrete phases of our community Liferays? And in Liferay we have many different phases, and for that matter, we try to create in Liferay an entry point and a starting point for the community This is the community.liferay.com. This is a unique site, which is our starting point to engage with the many different phases that the community has. After that, from this point, what we are going to have is, for example, the forums. The forums are the older tool that we have, and it's a very good one because we can share, we can ask questions, we have conversations to solve different problems. And the good thing about the forums is that they are indexed by Google. So if we ask Google, Google probably will point us to the concrete thread in the forum. The second tool that we have are the blogs. The blogs are a point in which we can share the things that we have done. And we have put a lot of effort in Liferay to allow everyone in the community to contribute or to write small posts. Long time ago, you had to be a registered member, you had to create an account, and right now we have put a lot of effort to make everyone an easy way to write a blog post. Right now, if you go to the blogs, you have a big button at the bottom in which you can write your own blog. Of course, this is going to go through a workflow to review, basically that it's not spam, just to protect the community, but everyone can contribute, can write their own blog post. And regarding this, there's an interesting talk tomorrow, because last year Jamie promised that we were going to drink our own champagne, and we did that. We have moved the site, the community site, to Liferay CE 7.0 right now. And in the process of upgrading from Liferay 6 to 7, we have learned a lot of experiences. Tomorrow, Jamie is going to go in detail through that experience. And for every one of you who is considering to upgrade for any 6 to a 7 version, it's very interesting to go to this talk. But coming back to the phases of our community, we also have a chat. Chat is something that we created like 1.5 years ago. We created a Slack channel and a Slack team, and in the Slack team it has been very active. We have almost 2,000 or around 2,000 members right now. There's been a lot of messages in this last year, almost 50,000 messages, and there's a lot of active members, both weekly and daily. So it's a very good place to go and engage with the people doing things with Liferay, both Liferay employees or people from partners or people from the community, people who are doing things with Liferay. So maybe a question, a problem, or a doubt that we have is the basic one that another one has in this forum. And as it has people from all over the world, there are good chances that no matter what time is it, there is going to be someone awake and in his computer, because maybe I'm working late, and afternoon, but it's on the United States, it's during the morning, so there are people there. The chat allows us to create very different channels. In these channels, we can focus on different modules or projects or things. We can even have channels to coordinate the different local user groups. And there's a lot of messages, of course. If we publish a message on the public channels, it's going to be read by everyone. It's going to be read by a lot of people. But there's also, we have noticed that there's also a high usage to interchange private conversations, to engage directly with someone who you know that already knows the solution, or maybe to keep in contact with them. So if you are not already on the Slack channel, go to communitychat.liferay.com and you will be able to send yourself an invite to your email account to join the Slack channel. But please don't forget about the forums, because the Slack channel is very easy to access. It's a very direct conversation, it's quick, but sometimes we have noticed, and people from the community has complained that the forums are, well, being less used. And the forums are still very interesting because, for example, if your question requires some context or a long explanation, or you're going to write some code to illustrate your problem, I mean not 2 or 3 lines of code, but some code. Or the question that you are asking is going to be interesting for anyone in the future, just please consider to write your problem in the forums. Maybe after that you can write in chat the link to the forums. The main benefit of the forums is that they are going to be indexed. They are going to be there forever. So if anyone in the future has the same problem, it's going to be easier for them to find the solution in the forums than in the chat, because the messages in the chat are lost. And then, after the chat, we also have the user groups, the local user groups. Basically, the local user group, we also have a community.liferay.com/user groups. This is a directory, but the actual user groups are held on Meetup. Why we decided to move into Meetup? Because Meetup is a platform that is used for every community to help people. So for us, it's easier to reach new members to our Meetups if we are already in Meetup. But you have a directory, a listing of the different local user groups also on our site. We have 12 groups on Meetup, plus one which decided not to go into Meetup. I think it's the Japan user group decided to use another platform which is pretty popular in Japan. So right now we have 13 user groups with a pretty good activity. There's a lot of Meetups, there's a lot of people attending, but we can improve that. The other one, the big brothers, in the sense of the ones that have been doing things for a long time, are this one, the one from UK, the France user group, and the Bucharest user group. We have also the younger, which is, for example, a couple of weeks ago, the Spanish user group, which I belong to. We took the chance of the Spanish Symposium to celebrate our first anniversary. And we plan to do some new things, and maybe we had the opportunity to gather up people from all over Spain, and maybe we are going to create new user groups in different parts of Spain, so that kind of thing happens. And there's also a special Liferay user group, which is the Dell Live sessions. It's something that we took like 1 year ago. We started to do online sessions, online talks. So if you are not close to a local Liferay user group, join the Dev Live sessions, because you can follow their talks comfortably from your home. And there's a bunch of newborns who have been created in the last month. The Portugal user group has had like 3 meetups so far. There are 2 user groups who has been created in Italy, one in Milan in the north and one in Bari in the south. And there's also a meetup in Warsaw who has had his first meetup last month. So there's a lot of interesting groups being created. We also have another phase, the Liferay University. The Liferay University is a new platform that we have created to put all our training and also the official certification courses there. But we also have other courses which are free. So register, because even if you don't buy any of the official certification product, you will do that afterwards, and you have a discount code in the Liferay booth. But at least you have teeny bits of information, small courses that for free that could be interesting for you, that could also help. And we also have some community activities. During the last year, we have, for example, we took the beta program, which we took when we were about to release Liferay 7.1. It was pretty interesting because we had a lot of feedback. And we even modified and solved some issues and changed the behavior of some features before the final release based on your feedback. Of course, there was another bunch of features that we had no time, but we had took that feedback into account for future versions. So the community is important because we'll allow to shape and to modify the behavior of the future versions of the product. The other community activity is the translation program that we have launched also this year. Well, this is a program that was before, but we have switched from pool to crowding, the tool that we were using to translate. The good thing about this is that it has allowed people to join and to add new languages, both to the portal. There was a lot of activity translating our products. Also, the commerce product has started to show some activity to translate to your native language. So basically, that's what we have done with the community and how you could involve. Very quickly to recap, the stage that you could have to engage with the Liferay community is, depending on the role that you want to achieve, there are 4. The first one is the listener or the consumer. Point to the community.liferay.com, and then you can, for example, start learning from others by reading the documentation or blog posts or reading the forums. You can also keep in touch, joining the Slack channel and keep in touch with other people who is doing the same thing that you. The user groups, you can find a local user group, you can attend some meetup and keep in touch with people nearby you who is doing things with the community, and also join the Dev live sessions. The second role is the contributor. After some time, you will know that you can answer some questions. You can also write some blog posts with particular things that you have done. Maybe you think that they are not interesting because they are too usual, and that's only because you are used to it. But some other people have never thought or have never used Liferay in the same way that you are doing. So write a blog post because it could be interesting for others. Or propose a talk at a conference like this one, or a local user group, or at a symposium. Or you can help with any other community activities when they come up. The next role is the creator. After that, you can start contributing and create actual things for the community. For example, you can write some new modules or themes or apps, which you can publish on the marketplace. Usually they are for free, but you can also make money from it. You can explore new initiatives like the headless APIs. You could build showcases of different things that you could do with Liferay, or you can try new products. For example, you can download and try commerce, or the most important things that we have, because we are open source, is the don't blame ad. If I find an issue, I can try to propose a solution, not blame others on others, because you can contribute. And the last one is the collaborator or lead. After that, you can try to step in and help with any Liferay user group, or you can engage with other communities and propose talks about Liferay, or you can create a new user group. You can lead a community initiative. You can become a proofreader of a translation program to your native language. To recap this path, I recommend you to go to tomorrow's talk by Andrew, which basically is going to explain one particular case of this journey, this path of a developer using Liferay. So finally, what will I get if I join the community? Or what we all get? Because when you join the community, when you join the community, it's not about you anymore. It's about everyone. Because we are going to become, first of all, giants. We are going to stand up on the shoulders of giants, remember. But further than that, you can help shape the product. Because we take the feedback. We take the feedback into account through the beta program. Sometimes the contributors, the proof of concept, or the new usage that you have done with Liferay ends by being one of the parts of the module of the product. You can explore new things, like how we could use Liferay as a backend for Internet of Things, or how we could use Docker or cloud. And this, by hearing this, we finally sometimes comes with solutions like the XP Cloud or something like that. So we take your feedback very seriously. So engage with the community. Join us. If you have a problem or any question, Liferay takes seriously the relation with your communities, because we have a whole team for that. If you have any problem, just drop us a line, the developer relations teams. We will help you no matter what you need to engage with the community. Thanks.